Good afternoon. Welcome to the 2026 general election for the student representative on the Board of Education, or SROB. This recording was filmed at CCPS Central Office on March 4th and consists of speeches from the candidates as well as a question and answer session. This is an extremely important election as it determines the person who speaks on behalf of your school system and school experience, so we ask for your full, undivided attention for the duration of this recording. After viewing this recording, students will receive a virtual ballot and be asked to vote between the two candidates.
The student representative on the Board of Education is a unique student position that is a part of the Carroll County Student Government Association and represents over 26,000 students of Carroll County Public Schools, grades K through 12. Candidates run in their 9th or 10th grade year, shadow the current student representative, and learn about the position the next year, and then serve the following year after that. This is the election for the 2026-2027 student representative on the board-elect, who will then serve as the student representative on the board in 2027 to 2028. The SROB attends every public Carroll County Board of Education meeting and works alongside the other board members and the superintendent to make sure that Carroll County students' views, opinions, and positions are well represented. The SROB also has responsibilities in the Maryland Association of Student Councils, or MASC, and represents Carroll County student voice on the state level.
Our panel today is made up of this year's SROB, Jasmina Musaeva, and myself, Mason Dean, our CCSGA president.
With that, we will have the candidates introduce themselves. We ask that candidates speak loudly and clearly. Closed captions will be provided.
Hello, I'm Brooklynn Ellis, a class of 2028 sophomore student at Manchester Valley High School, and I'm running to be your next SROB.
Hi, my name is Lauren Lucena, and I'm a 9th grader at Westminster High School running to be your next SROB.
Now we will move into candidate speeches. Candidates will have up to 5 minutes to speak.
Good afternoon, students and staff of Carroll County. My name is Brooklynn Ellis, and I'm running to be your next student rep on the Board of Education because I believe we can make our visions reality together. Before I get to the crux of why I'm running for this position, please allow me to introduce myself. I am currently a class of 2028 sophomore student at Manchester Valley. I come from a family of 5 with my mom, my dad, a younger sister, and brother. Having younger siblings has taught me to grow up as a leader and role model to them because I'm always striving to be my best in order to inspire them. Knowing that I have the next generation looking up to me in some way gives me a reason to do everything to the best of my ability because I want them to learn from the same foundations I have been taught. My parents have always taught me to do everything with respect, kindness, commitment, and consistency. I think a large part of who I am today is definitely because of my parents and how they have always pushed me to be the best version of myself. I'm currently taking a mixture of honors and AP level classes while involved in many clubs and extracurriculars. The reason I am running for this position is because I've always been passionate about learning and helping others succeed. Trying everything you can because you never know what wonders you might find is something I find helpful in my everyday duties. In addition to my academic pursuits, I am involved in SGA, FBLA, Morgan's Message, ski and snowboarding, debate, mock trial, and FCA. I am an athlete representing my school in volleyball, basketball, and softball while holding the captain title for all 3 of these sports. Aside from athletics, I am also very invested in my music study. I am currently involved in our choir program at Manchester Valley, which has been an amazing experience to be able to connect with people who share the same interests as me. These experiences have taught me the value of teamwork, leadership, and giving back. Through the mix of diverse clubs, sports, and activities, I have been able to work with just about anyone and everyone. No matter what I'm doing, I like to take pride in everything I do because the more you can be proud of something, the more likely you are to share it with others. My favorite part is being able to have connections no matter where I am, even just as a sophomore student, because I have been able to have experiences with such diverse groups. Now allow me to introduce my ideas. I am not looking at this position to just represent you all, but I have always believed in action. I believe every student deserves a say in decisions that affect our education. What sets me apart isn't just the experience, it's my commitment to making sure every student's voice is heard. Goal setting is something I take pride in enormously within my everyday life. If selected for this position, I will focus on 3 base goals: amplifying student voices, improving our learning environment, and supporting the well-being not only in the students, but also through our Carroll County community. I will take these ideas not only as mine, but our ideas. I want to hear from you all in a way that you feel will be most effective. To further these goals into action, I would do this by setting up monthly online forums with any students who want to involve themselves within the school system, create surveys for students countywide who may have questions or concerns about current issues or policies, and hopefully create a program that allows students to grow within themselves. I want to bring confidence to people of all ages and backgrounds that may not have that as a strength. What do you want to change? What do you care about? If we build upon these ideas, we can build a community that reflects us collectively. With being involved in student government for my 5th year in a row, I have learned not only a lot about myself, but also about the program and what it stands for. I have been in many roles. I have not just been a member of my school's SGAs, I was president my 7th and 8th grade years at Shiloh Middle, and now I'm sitting on the executive board in high school. Including this, I have gone to every CCSGA meeting possible since my first years, which has taught me more valuable skills than I could even imagine. I have been through a lot and I've heard many opinions. To the students sitting here thinking, I could never do that and talk in front of this many people, even though we may not have talked one-on-one yet, I know that you could because I was once you. I was lacking confidence and could barely even speak in front of my class, and now I'm speaking to every high school student in the county. Think about it. From the moment you can talk, you have been taught that you have a voice no matter what role you play. Musicians, athletes, teachers, students, political figures, parents, and children, no matter what role or position you have on our economy, you have a voice. Confidence is something I think can always be improved on. I have seen over the course of the past few years that students especially have decreased their levels of confidence, and so therefore the levels of representation have decreased. My main goal as rep would be to create resources and opportunities to gain confidence in our community. The more confidence that everyone has, the more likely we are to advocate for ourselves and bring action into place. I think this is something that as a county we lack and should be addressed. The resources we have should be used to their fullest, because they will only better us. For the schools that may not be as abundant, I hope to increase these. My commitment to our community, my passion for education, and my willingness to listen and learn make me ready for this responsibility. Let's make our voices unable to not be heard. Show others how coming together will build our leadership and connect us all. If you want to have a representative who listens, stays active, and stands up for not one group of students, but every student, then I ask for your vote. Before I end this, I want to leave you all with a quote that I love. And if you do not remember anything from my speech, please remember this from Marie Curie. Life is not easy for any of us, but what of that? We must have perseverance and above all confidence in ourselves. We must believe that we are gifted for something and that this something must be attained. Remember, listen, learn, and lead as we see beyond and lead tomorrow. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Lucena. I'm currently in 9th grade at Westminster High School running for student representative on the Board of Education. I'm sure we all know the feeling of opening TikTok or Instagram Reels for just 15 minutes, and suddenly it's midnight, your phone is at 3% and hours have slipped by. You see a video you disagree with, rush to comment, only to find the comments are deactivated. You have something important to say, but nowhere to say it. For many students, school can feel the same way. We hear new education policies that we disagree with, but have no way to voice our opinions. However, witnessing those decisions shouldn't feel like watching videos with the comments turned off. That is why I want to serve as your SROB. I want to ensure that student voices aren't muted, but finally given the chance to be part of the conversation. Vote for me, Lauren L., and I will make student voices excel. That passion did not grow overnight. It grew from the encounters that showed me how important student voice truly is. In my leadership first stemmed from me being a student representative for my class in 3rd grade. In middle school, I became vice president of my school student government. Now, I serve as the outreach chair on the service committee for Maryland Student Council. We have coordinated numerous service-based webinars where students from every county in the state have attended. I'm also the charity and outreach coordinator for Carroll County Student Government, where I help to organize a fundraiser that raises money for students who are less fortunate. To help raise awareness for this cause, I spoke in front of a delegation of over 200 students from various high schools and middle schools all over the county. However, my leadership is not just limited to speaking, but also teaching high school and middle school students about factors that harm student learning during a General Assembly. These positions have helped me to collaborate with student leaders all over the nation, state, and county. These roles have also taught me how to communicate with diverse groups of students and organize efforts that create meaningful impact. I'm also part of numerous clubs in school, like Pre-Med Club, Key Club, Sources of Strength, and Friends for Life. These clubs have allowed me to have leadership in a variety of experiences. I've also dedicated time for over 4 years to volunteering for students with disabilities. Last summer, I spent 7 weeks assisting neurodivergent students with their personalized curriculum. I've gained over 200 service hours from these activities. But most importantly, these programs have taught me endless lessons on compassion for others, no matter what barriers they face. My commitment to service is rooted in my background. My parents immigrated from the Philippines, carrying their entire livelihood in small brown boxes. Education was the pathway that guided them through adversity and helped them start a new life in a foreign world. They never looked back to providing a good future for me and my siblings. My parents' tenacity inspired me to use the same commitment in creating a better education for students in our county. If elected as SROB, I will turn that same commitment into action. Just like how I follow the latest trends on social media, I hope you will follow me in creating a trend in student advocacy. TREND is an acronym that accurately describes my mission. T stands for transparency between the students and the Board of Education. I want to ensure that students are not left in the dark regarding choices that are made about our education. R stands for representing student needs. I want to certify that students are not only relayed the information regarding their learning, but also having a seat at the table. E stands for equality for all students. Whether you're an athlete, artist, musician, or simply waiting for that last bell to ring, I will make sure everyone is treated equally. N stands for new opportunities for progress. I intend to add and keep favored programs within the county. Finally, D stands for driving student advocacy. Actions speak louder than words. I will actively push for student concerns and take the time to ensure our visions will become a reality. As SROB, I want to turn student voices into something that gets scrolled past, into something that sets the trend for real change. Because this is our education. At the beginning of the speech, I talked about the frustration of having something important to say, but nowhere to say it. Wanting to express your opinions on topics that truly matter, but finding the comments turned off. As SROB, I want to make sure that student voices are never muted, but instead set the trend for the conversations that shape our schools. Because this is our education. So vote for me, Lauren L., and I will make student voices excel. Thank you.
All right, thank you both. Now we will move into the Q&A portion of our election. Candidates will have up to a minute to respond to each question.
So our first question is, are you the kind of leader that leads with your heart, hands, or head?
I know that being a good leader encompasses all three, but I know that I lead with my head, hands, and my heart, but I feel that the most important is leading with your heart. This is because leading with your heart allows you to understand the students' concerns, their feelings, and their opinions. Leading with my heart also allows me to be a kind and compassionate leader, so when I'm relaying the student concerns to the Board of Education, I can understand where they are coming from and why they are feeling that way. Leading with my heart also allows me to not just lead students, but serve them.
As a student rep on the Board of Education, I believe that a good leader has all three, and that I think overall I am a leading with my heart because compassion is something that I think everybody should have, and seeing perspectives from other people is how you learn and how you grow. And as a rep, you should be able to hear from different students and understand what they're thinking and why they're feeling a certain way. And so leading with your heart is important because overall, if you're leading with your hands, you can only go so far. And if you're leading with your head, that can take you places that maybe you're not trying to represent everybody.
Thank you. Question 2, what other issues do you see at school and how do you plan to enact change? Also, on a larger scale, how will you hear from students across the county? How will you take what you're doing at a local level and expand it to the county level as well?
So as I had mentioned in my speech, I want to create monthly forums for not only students involved in SGA, but also involved throughout the county. I want to make sure that everybody is able to reach it, so I would create an online platform and post it not only on social media, but put it into paper online too, so that everybody is able to join like a Google Meet and be able to see the updates and things that are happening within our schools, so that everyone feels as though they are included in what's going on and the issues that are arising and affecting them, because the things that are and policies that are being put into place affect everyone in our school system. And I think that within our school system, our biggest issue is levels of, as I had mentioned, confidence. And people feel as though their voice needs to be heard, but they don't know how to do that. And I want to be easy access for students to be able to feel they have a comfort place to come and reach out and express their concerns.
I have definitely seen an array of issues that have risen at my school, but I feel that the most important issue is mental health awareness. This is because students cannot properly learn in an environment where they do not feel safe or comfortable in. Building onto this, I feel that I've witnessed so many students struggle to balance all of their sports, extracurriculars, and schoolwork all at once. And they don't always have the proper resources or strategies to help them balance everything. To combat this, I want to directly ask students what I can do as SROB to help benefit them. Now, to expand this to the county level, I want to use different forms of communication, like social media, to ensure that everyone's voice is being heard and represented.
Thank you. Question 3. Thinking back to those previously in this role, what do you think differentiates the good from the great?
I feel that the SROBs who were good at their role only performed their duties at a surface level. They maybe got a few viewpoints or voices in, but they never truly expanded their work to the county level. Now, for the SROBs who were great at their role, you could just see passion radiating off of them. You could tell that they wanted to make a difference in the county, and they didn't just lead with words, but they embarked on those decisions with action. They made sure to directly listen to the students and voice those opinions straight to the Board of Education. And if elected as SROB, I want to continue to do the same.
What I believe sets the good from the great is that the SROBs that were previously in place that were good at their job didn't see a wide variety of perspective and kind of stayed back in what they really could have said. I feel as though they should have gained more perspective in the rising issues that are affecting everyone and understand how they are affecting everyone, and to really make sure that they're speaking up for themselves within the board. Because even though the SROB does not have a vote, I feel as though they should be in providing as most input as they can. And the ones that were great at their job made sure that they had a variety of opinions and decisions made by the students and for the students, because the policies that are being put into place are affecting everyone. And so by getting the voices out there, that's how they would be even better at their job.
All right, thank you. For number 4, seeing that the current BOE is made up of mainly adults and that there is a possible disconnect between or based on your age, how will you ensure that student voice is heard in this environment?
Within this environment, I understand that the age gap may be a little different, but I feel as though making sure that the board can hear the perspective of students and why they are feeling certain ways and how it is affecting them can truly help them to think when making their decisions, because their decisions are impacting all of us and our day-to-day lives, no matter what grade or background you come from, it's all affecting us the same way. And so that by providing facts and statistics of students and rising issues within our community, that the board will hopefully see these issues that are happening and make a change, even though we might seem smaller than they are.
I can definitely understand that initially there can be a disconnect between me, a student, and the Board of Education, but I will make it a priority to bridge that gap. In order to bridge that gap, I want to speak confidently and eloquently to make sure that student voice is being considered, because I am representing the entire body of Carroll County. Adding on to this, I want to make sure that I thoroughly study the topics that we're discussing in meetings beforehand to ensure that I'm asking imperative questions. I also know that effectively communicating is a two-way street, which is both listening and speaking. So first, I want to listen to the Board of Education members and make sure that I understand what they are expressing. After, I want to make sure that I relay the student concerns by speaking their opinions and viewpoints through real student anecdotes and real student ideas to ensure that our voices are not only heard but also understood.
Thank you. Question 5. What are your greatest strengths and weaknesses?
I feel that my greatest strength is my compassion and my empathy for others, and that I genuinely care. I listen closely to students, I follow through, and I don't take the responsibility of representing other students lightly. I also make it my #1 priority to understand students and know where they are coming from. As for weakness, I feel that I can be hard on myself. I sometimes set high or maybe unachievable standards for myself, and I expect everything to be perfect and everything to go according to plan. But I know that being a good leader means making mistakes and learning from them and improving from them. I always make it my #1 goal to make progress, and I feel that that is one of my strengths as well.
I feel as though my biggest strength is my commitment. When I find something that am passionate about or deeply care about something like student government and the things that happen in our community, I strive to do the best that I can and do it well, because I feel like I constantly am being brought into a load of things, but I need to narrow it down, which it comes to my weakness, which is making sure that I have enough time for everything. I think time management is something I can definitely improve upon, and that I understand I have a lot of things going on being an athlete and a student, but having the commitment to certain things will allow me to fulfill my duties and responsibilities within my role while also keeping time for things outside of school and sports and this role.
All right, thank you. For 6, how will your statewide communication efforts with other regional SROBs, SMOBs, and commissioners help to strengthen Carroll County representation?
By gaining community and accessibility, making myself accessible and easy to reach through whether it be social media, direct conversations. I want to make sure that I'm attending the most amount of events and campaigns and responsibilities that I can be, so that I can make sure I can see other perspectives. Because I understand that we are a small county within Maryland, and that we have issues happening in our county that may not be happening in other counties. So by gaining perspectives and making myself accessible to other people, I believe that I will be able to fulfill this position greatly.
So with the appointed positions that I hold now, I feel that they've already given me experience in coordinating with other SROBs and SMOBs across the state. In Carroll County Student Government, I serve as the Charity and Outreach Coordinator, and this role has helped me liaise with different students across the Executive Board. In Maryland Student Council, I hold the chair-appointed position as the outreach chair on the service committee, and I feel that this role has helped me collaborate with student leaders across the state. So I will continue to work with other SROBs and SMOBs across Maryland to ensure that Carroll County voice is adequately represented, because I've already established this effective line of communication. I will continue to work with other SROBs and SMOBs at Maryland Student Council events and ensure that Carroll County voice is truly represented.
Okay, thank you. And our last question is, the position of SROB is a large time commitment. Balancing meetings and work sessions, CCSGA responsibilities, clubs, sports, and the school miss because of these requires immense time management skills. How will you prioritize this role to continue to effectively represent the student populace of Carroll County?
I know that I'm already balancing a lot of leadership positions, extracurriculars, and challenging coursework, but ultimately in the end, these factors have only helped me prepare for the role of being SROB and learning in my time management skills. Over the past few years, I've learned how to prioritize certain things over others, but ultimately in the end, get everything done and get everything done effectively. So if elected as SROB, I will make sure that this role is a priority first and foremost. This is because representing the student body is the most important role I can have and the most important role I can achieve. I know that it is crucial to take this role seriously and dedicate undivided attention to the role of being SROB.
Keeping this role as one of my top priorities, I understand will be a top thing for me to keep on my plate of my athletics, my extracurriculars, and all of my other schoolwork. But this position is very hard to fill, but I would do my best to make sure that is done well and done effectively. The voices of the students of not only Carroll County, but within the state are depending on me. So if I were not to fulfill this role, then those voices would be unheard. And that is not what needs to be happening, especially when the student body is small as it is. To make sure that I am effectively communicating with the board and making time for this, I will make sure that I set aside time to specifically dedicate and look over the documents that the board has provided me and rewatch board meetings to see what I could have done better and learn from other people that were past SROBs to make sure that I can fulfill this position effectively.
Thank you both. This concludes our general election for student representative-elect. We extend our sincere appreciation to our candidates Brooklyn and Lauren for their willingness to lead and for representing student voice with professionalism and integrity. We thank our elected officer team for their presence and support throughout this process. Special recognition is given to Mr. Ryan Melhorn for his leadership and dedication as CCSGA advisor, as well as to Mr. Pat Flaherty for coordinating the production and overseeing the technical execution of this event. We are grateful to our principals and teachers for facilitating this recording and ensuring student access, and we thank you for our students participating in this democratic process by casting their vote for the next representative to serve on the Board of Education. Thank you.